Welcome back, you beauties. It's like a rugby match unfolding around me as we speak in the morning. Why? Because we are energized after seeing the Springboks set the tone for their season ahead. Their clash this weekend at a rain-soaked DHL Stadium. Oh, they put their hands up. They absolutely thumped the Barbarians 54-7. Stand-up performances to Russie's, I think, evolving game plan. Maybe some signs of something shifting there. Plenty to unpack after a commanding Springbok victory. And Morgan Newman is here from Good Hope FM. And just because rugby, okay? Just because of rugby. I think you exist because of rugby, Brew.
Spot on.
And you might feel that on a Monday morning like this. I feel so bad. First of all, good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for being here. Crack of dawn. How are you, guy?
Yeah, good to see you too, man. Yeah, very good to be here. Monday morning, early start, but after a weekend like that, it's always a good Monday after the Boks perform the way they did.
Exactly, and I feel bad now because I was trying to pump the Barbarians up before the weekend, thinking, they've got 2 weeks, it's a small squad, 21 players or something, but the bromance is going to be strong. They're in one kind of mode, the chemistry is strong. Wow, the Springbok team didn't look like they've taken a season off, and the youngsters standing up. So talk me through how you felt about that performance, man.
Yeah, well, you know, it's twofold. Number one, I think, you know, the mistake the Barbarians made firstly was picking a bunch of New Zealanders to come to Cape Town for a week, have a jaw, and then try to play the Springboks, you know?
So the bromance was maybe too strong.
Too strong. I think the bromance was too strong, saw them getting festive throughout the week. But then, you know, you look at the performance of the Boks, I mean, such a, you know, one wants to almost say polished performance so early on in the season. They have had plenty of camps. Russie's done really well at keeping these guys relevant to his thinking. You know, he's had them sort of even on, I hear that they even do sort of, you know, just meetings online and stuff like that. So the performance, he picked a team that I thought he definitely was a lot stronger than I initially thought he would go with, you know. Normally they go with testing guys against the Barbarians.
We thought this was an experimental side. That looks like they've been experimenting together for about 6 months. That being said, any standout players, youngsters, obviously Sasha, always good.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if he feels pressure, but there would have been more pressure on his shoulders for this one. How did he stand up in the number?
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, lots of eyes are on Sasha. You know, I sat in the press conference and Russie spoke a lot about, you know, trying to find, Sasha's finding that balance between the exuberance of youth and just the freedom that he plays with. The expression, and then also trying to stick into the Springbok game plan, you know. So I think he did it really well for large periods. I thought Mani Liebok came on and replaced him and really showed also a mature performance. But you talk about stand-up performances, then you probably look at a guy like Cheslin Colby without a doubt. I mean, you know, there's this old debate, him and Dupont, the best rugby player in the world currently. I mean, he's head and shoulders above everyone that I've seen it play the game
in every position.
You know, and he switches it on so well. You know, I mean, he comes from Japan League. The rugby's not as quick. You know, they're probably playing a completely different style. He comes on and puts a Bok jersey on and completely changes things up.
Well, have you noticed how the Japan League just rose when he got there? So maybe he's just got this way.
No, he's got a massive aura about him, and I think the same. You know, a guy like Loet de Jager hasn't been part of the Boks setup that much.
Welcome back.
Isn't it great to see him back? I mean, that lock. There's only 2 places that they can pick, and there's about 3 or 4 locks that are really performing well at the moment.
And each of them offering utility. I think what I loved about that, and Loet kind of had this, when Peter Steff found that next dimension of rugby for the rest of us, Loet wasn't like, okay, well, I'm going to take a step. He's like, I'm going to go meet him there, and I'm going to make myself utility. And we've got so many utility-based players now. Andre Esterhuizen, what role is his? How is he going to be used? Because we're used to just seeing battering ram, but shifting now.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading, there's this new hybrid role that Russie's talking about, which is not wrong. I mean, if you stand next to the guy, he's a man mountain. He's a monster, you know what I mean? So he definitely can fulfill a role. You know, people always talk about this 7-1 split that Russie used on the bench potentially. Now he can go with a 6-2 split and still potentially look as a 7-1 because he's got Andre Esterhuizen, can cover flank, can cover wing, can cover centre.
He can join the bomb squad. It's okay. You're allowed.
You know what I mean? So between himself and like Kwagga, they really can play sort of, you know, 1 to 8, and then if one feels like 9 to 15.
I think they just sit there thinking, what's going to mess with world rugby? What's going to irritate that one guy in world rugby so much that it's going to throw him off his game? And this looks like that kind of move. Now, I love it. So many past experiments. Italy coming up. We can't take our foot off the pedal. We've seen what they can do in Six Nations. It's a young side that loves to prove they can express themselves as well. Does he experiment again with Italy? Does he try to lock down the core of that team? Have our Bulls, our URC stars kind of rested enough? How do you see that Italy game?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, you know, firstly, great start. You know, it's very easy for you to sort of veer off the track if you want to play an experimental side against the Barbos. And so I think he'll go with much of the same. You know, I think he's going to go with exactly, I don't think the backline will change much. If I look across the board, maybe at 9 they might come in, might be a change at 9. Warne van der Berg played well, but I think there might be a change there. Outside of that, I think, the core group of the Springbok squad is pretty self-explanatory.
I think once they get 50 plus, you've got to kind of give them a run on next week. I think
exactly. So what I think he'll do is I think he'll probably go with our strongest side in this first test match, get the momentum going again, and then do experimental changes within the experience. So, between the centres, there might come a little bit of an inexperienced
just to mess with
try.
Rugby.
Exactly, yeah.
But you used an important word there, test. And lest we forget, this is international. This is build up towards another World Cup. This is squad development. And clearly, looking at the way the youngsters, the newly returned, the injured all performed, the squad looks deep and the squad looks good. Just like Carissa's squats this morning. No, I'm not trying to manifest squats or burpees for Carissa this morning, or for you, buddy, because it's early. I'm going to send you on your way to go and do a little bit of fitness because look at those shorts. Every day is leg day on your Feel Good Breakfast show. My girl, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm dodging a bullet this morning.